All right, guys, we'll get started in a moment. Just gonna wait for a couple more people to join. There's a bit of a time delay on the video versus what I see on my laptop here, but that's okay. We'll just give it about a minute or so. Gonna start a little bit early tonight, 7:30 opposed to 8 o'clock. Typically it's 8 o'clock, but we're gonna go live at 7:30. So there was a bit of an issue with my my app. I had told it 7:30, and it then changed to 11:30, and I said, "Well, that's not right." And then it changed to 3:30, which is also incorrect, but here we are. And here I am. Hi, everybody. I'm Go Veer Go Home, and welcome to my channel. And today we are going to have a big conversation about keeping motivated. And I think this is, it's about time. It's about time we had that conversation because, sometimes people find it pretty difficult, given circumstances to stay motivated, to continue to do things on their layout. And it could be through any type of situation. Maybe you're just having a rough go at it, or you're still new to the hobby and you're not quite sure what to do. Or maybe you've been doing this for so long that you just, things have kind of run stale. But we'll take a look at all of it. I've also done a online survey, so I'll give you the results of that, about what you guys think, and of course we can chat live about that as well. And then of course I'll give you my top 5, how I stay motivated, because there's always something to do, but sometimes it's hard to stay focused and whatnot. So we will take a look at all of that and more. I'm going to show you some stuff that I've been up to. Before we get started, though, I want to say hi to everybody who did take the time to show up. Some of you were even here earlier. BN Ironwood was here nice and early. Same with Brian. I think Brian gets the Timbits tonight. Denny from N-Scale Dystopia and Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Ronald, how's it going, Ronald? John Train, BFGR, and of course M&M Rails. How's it going, guys? How's it going? Okay, so I'm sure more people will pop in as the night continues, so we'll get started. First, if this is your first time here, welcome. Every Thursday, me and my crew, we'll call them my rail crew, I don't know what you want to call them, we do a live every Thursday, and it's a little show that we do. It's called Third Rail Thursday. So every Thursday, we go live, usually at about 8 o'clock, minus tonight. It's Denny on the first Thursday, and he's at N-Scale Dystopia. I normally do the second week, but this month had 5 weeks, so we actually had Dave Coe. He joined us last week. Very nice of him to step in. He used to be a regular with us, and life gets in the way. He had a child, and he spends a lot of time helping around the house. He has a very busy schedule as well. So he had to step away, but he will come back for the odd episode, and he never ceases to fail. He always does a great show, is what I'm saying. And of course, I'm normally the second, or in this case, the third week. And then we've got M&M Rails. So Mark, he normally does the third week. In this case, he'll be the fourth week. And then we've got GVO After Dark, which is more or less just a wrap-up show for the month, just in case you missed anything. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? Yeah, so this week we're talking about keeping motivated, and I put out a survey on my channel, basically asking you guys what you thought were some of the important things as far as what you guys do to keep busy or keep motivated. I give you the options to run trains, to start a new project, go rail fanning, and other, which I had left that open if anybody wanted to leave a comment as well to let me know what you do to, keep motivated in this hobby. At 50% of the votes, and I did close it down at about 6 o'clock today. So it ran for a good 24 to 48 hours. Run trains. Y'all run trains to keep motivated, which is really good because that's why we do this. And I think that when it comes down to it, whether you have 2 feet of track or 20 feet of track, run a train. It might be a little bit back and forth. If you have a siding, maybe you can practice some switching of a couple of cars just to give you a sense of this is what I'm working towards. And you can basically build from that. I'm at a standstill right now because I do need more track, but I do have enough where I can run back and forth through my yard and just kind of push cars around and whatnot. And that's kind of what I've been doing as well to keep busy and keep motivated, because I have a little bit of a longer way to go. I have to go up to a 2nd level now still. So I'm kind of still working on my helix, and as soon as I get more track and I get to the top, then I can basically finish the main line for the top. In 2nd place was other. Now, I got a lot of great suggestions, which I'll go over some of those with you guys as well. Start a new project at 24%, and that's great because there's always something to work on the layout, whether it's a project that you have started a long time ago, or you want to start a new project. Everybody loves the smell of a new kit, so crack open that kit that you just you've been dying to get your hands on, and dive right in, and then you can find a place on your layout for it, which is part of building the layout side of things. Maybe you got a new car or a new locomotive that you've been itching to weather. That might be something that you guys could start as a new project. I know there's a lot of prep work, especially when it comes to weathering, taping off the windows, and you got to do the dull coat and all that. So it's a project. It's definitely a project. Hey, Dwight, how's it going? All right. So, and then, so that was basically it for the online vote. I thank everybody for, contributing for that and taking the time to, voice your opinion on that. So if I give you my top 5, now I have 5 personally, but then I have some bonus ones as well. And as I'm going through it, I'm going to take you through the things that I've done over the last several weeks, almost month, in preparation for that. Again, I've been running out of track left, right, and center. I used up all my flex. I've used up all my switches that I have currently. But I got to stay motivated, right? I got to keep working. There's a goal, and my goal is to get my main line going, hopefully by the end of this year. We're already halfway through it, and I've been almost here a year. I believe that's July, August, I think. It'll be a year that I've been here. I didn't get to start on my layout right away, but having things kind of at a standstill for long periods of time really bothers me. I like to be able to run trains and whatnot. So, getting track down is like my number one priority. So, first on my list for keeping motivated, finish a kit or a project that you started a while ago. And this, I think, is really perfect for me because I always tend to start a project and then I don't finish it. In this case, what I did this past week, if I can reach it and I don't make it fall apart or break it or all the above, is this kit here. And I hope Anthony shows up eventually because Anthony sent this out to me. And let me show you guys. So this, if you remember, I worked on this kit several months ago. And this is a little wood kit that Anthony sent me. I forget the brand name. If you guys remember, let me know. But this is a little wood kit, and it's supposed to be a yard office. And basically, what I did was for my CN yard, because I'm doing a very loose rendition of Mac Yard, which is in the Toronto area. This is going to be a utility shed that I'm going to have probably over there somewhere, and it's going to be between the tracks. And there's a little entrance door here that I painted red. And then, of course, I did the cool CN kind of, it almost looks like a locomotive side to it after painting the whole thing black. And then on this side, it did come with some decals, but the decals are paper. So I had to sand it down super thin, and then I used some white glue to attach it. And safety first, And then I also took an ITLA fan that's for a building, and I just put a little vent over the window. Instead of putting the window in, I put a little fan vent there. I thought that was a nice touch, just in case you're working in there and it's really hot. Now I still have to weather this, of course, but I wanted to get it to a point where it's like, okay, I can put it on the layout and I'll just come back to it later. So again, is it really finished? No. But I got it to a point where I'm happy with it. Another thing I did, this was the actual roof that it came with. You can take a look and see. It's just a plain piece there. I don't know what that is. It almost feels like cardstock, like cardboard. And I did not like the look of it. It was too flat, too boring. And then I remembered I had a big sheet of corrugated. It's very thin, but it's corrugated plastic. So I cut a piece for both the top and the bottom shed part there. And it looks 1,000 times better when I put that on top. So I haven't sealed it yet because I do want to do some inside details and possibly add a light fixture on there. I haven't really decided lighting yet. But to get it to this point, to pick it up after, I don't know how many months, at least 3 months, because I couldn't spray paint outside. I received it when it was still cold. So that was something that I really wanted to do as soon as it got a little bit warmer outside. So there you go. So this is my finishing a kit or a project that I had started a while ago. And I had lots of fun doing this. And again, thanks to Anthony for sending that out to me. It looks great on the layout. Perfect. Hey, Nathan, how's it going? I have a Walther's Chocolate Factory. That is my summer project. Figured that I would use the office building as a municipal building. Yeah, that works. Yeah, absolutely. I think it gives you all 4 sides, too. Never too late. That's right. Okay, so for my second way to keep motivated, start a new project. And for me, and I'm going to show you this here. So this bridge was my new project. Basically, what I did was, after getting all this track down, I had started doing a lot of the wiring. And I did all the wiring starting at this end of the yard. And basically, I'm working down my yard, little by little. But this is where I had started. And now that I know that all the wiring is done here and everything, I kind of wanted to start a new project. Now, I know that over this yard, I want to have a good 3 separate bridges. And I'm trying to make them as real to scale as possible. So this particular bridge, which should be 6 lanes wide with a median down the middle, basically, I haven't gotten that median yet, but I measured it out so that it's 6 lanes wide, which I did on, what is that called? Masonite. So I measured it out on a piece of scrap masonite that I had, and I cut it to kind of fit the contour. You can see that it goes into a curve at the very back, and then even right here, this whole section here is on a curve as well. So once I put the fascia on, it's going to go right up to the edge there, and it'll look like it's all one piece, basically. But this bridge is mostly custom built. Now, I can tell you that the only pieces that are store-bought would be the pillars underneath the bridge that that hold up in the center. Those are from a Walthers kit. And this railing that's along here, which I still need to work on, there's still a bit to do, those are off an old bridge. So it took me a while to remove those pieces from that bridge. But once I got them off of it, I was able to cut them to fit here. They're not even attached. They're just sitting there for show right now. And then the body of it. So there's foam in here. It's extruded foam. And I cut a U shape for here. So I made it go up, down that way, and back. And then over there, it's just an L shape. Now, taking inspiration from Denny, because he's working with some foam and he's doing something that's very similar, I crumpled up a piece of tin foil, and I don't know if you can see it. You might be able to see it. Let me see if I can do it with this. Get a little bit closer. So now with this, because the foam looked way too clean, I rolled the ball over the foam to kind of make it look like there's imperfections in the concrete. And I did the same thing down there. So I built my own abutments using the foam. With this here, I then took the plastic. I took a sheet of styrene and I placed it over the side and I cut it to the exact shape. Then I used a thinner piece of styrene to create the frames around each of these cutouts here. And I cut all of those out by myself by hand. So I didn't use a laser or anything. I just used, good old hand and knife. But it came together really, really well. And I'm very excited to be able to work on that. And it was a brand new project. I enjoy building custom things like that. And even though it's not done, it's still something that got me really motivated and really excited to, work on this project. I even got a couple of cars up there, trucks on there, just to kind of see how it looks. And I did have some trains running through there just to make sure that the clearance was okay. But there's still a lot there that I need to work on with it just to get it, perfect. I also want to weather it, and then I got to figure out the landforms on either side, because I know that the abutments are holding back the land, so I got to figure that all out still too. But if I've got the basic build good, and it works, great. It does what it's supposed to. I am also good. Thanks, Nathan. I know this is you want to go when we met in person. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was. I hope you had a good trip while you were here. Hopefully everybody was as welcoming as Canadians can be. I mean, we're very welcoming. Yeah, the concrete, I mean, it's not perfect. And I think that it'll show a lot better once the weathering is on there. So hopefully that works. And I used a ball of tin foil. I didn't even use a lot. I just scrunched it up and then I rolled it around and kind of made sure that all the areas were really covered. And it looks natural. It doesn't look like I forced anything with it. It looks natural. So kudos to Denny's for that. Or not Denny's, but Denny for, for sharing his tips with that as well. So number three on my list, because so we've done finish a kit or project that you started a while ago, start a new project. Number 3 on my list of ways to keep motivated in the hobby is run trains. And we did touch on this because this was one of the options that I gave you guys, and you guys agreed. You run trains in a loop, back and forth. It doesn't matter. As long as you're running trains, it gives you the sense of, well, I've accomplished something. I'm working towards something, working to something even bigger. You can have a 4x8 layout and you could have your train running around, but let's say I'm not too sure about scenery. Well, once you see how your trains are operating and you see how everything is coming together, you can get a sense of, okay, so this is what the next step is. This is what I have to do. Whether it's adding a tunnel or adding a bridge, where you're going to place your city versus where you're going to put fields and, the cows and the farmland and all that. And it helps to really, see the big picture, more or less. Some people aren't as visual as others. When I was talking with Denny, he said that most people that are in the hobby, in this particular type of hobby, that they tend to be more of a visual person. And I find that to be very true for myself. I'm a visual learner. When I do things, I have to look at it. Somebody can't describe something to me. I have to see it. And that's how I am able to do certain things better. So that's my 2 cents with that. And the proof of this, and I can show you, because why not? This is kind of like a breakaway from what we're talking about here with all this. But that's okay. Because I'm going to bring in a train. And I'm going to tell you why I'm bringing in this train. So, you guys know that back in January, I went to Amherst for the train show, the Springfield train show. And it was a really good deal. I bought a locomotive, heck of a price. It was great. Then a month later, near the end of February, beginning of March, I bought myself a birthday present. And that was another one of these locomotives. I took them to the club. And on the very first day of running this locomotive at the club, it broke. There was something wrong with the truck, and I was sad. I wasn't mad about it, but it was very discouraging. These things ain't cheap, but I love my Bowser, so it's nothing against Bowser. But what should I call it? So contacting Bowser is pretty easy to do, and they helped me through the situation. And the easiest way to do that, the easiest way to work through that situation was just for me to mail the locomotive. And Bowser is an American company, but they do have a repair guy in Ontario where I live. And it's very convenient. Where, like, let's say if I had a Scale Trains locomotive, I'd have to send it to the States to be serviced. That's no bueno. So I'm very happy with the fact that Bowser has that kind of feature to them, where, yeah, they will... Is it coming? I'm sure it's coming. Where they will basically, you can ship it within your own province and it'll get serviced and then sent back. And I think it was only $20 to ship. And it was very quick. I got it within a week. Like, I sent it on the Monday, and I got it back on the Thursday. Is it on the track right now? Might be. Alright. So this here, this is, these are my Bowser. Maybe we should... So these are my I had to silence them. So these are my Bowsers, the SD40-2s. They're gorgeous locomotives, and I'm very happy with my Bowsers. You guys know that I've talked up their locomotives previously, and that I really enjoy, running them and whatnot. And they did a really great job when they were at the club, because I was pulling my entire barrel ore train with it. So of course, it all looks fantastic. I think you guys might have seen some of the shorts of me. Oh, excuse you. So you guys probably saw some of the shorts of them running, and they run really, really well. It was just, the front, I think it was the front truck. I don't know what happened with it exactly, but it basically, the side shield split open, and he asked me to take the truck off, and I said, I don't really trust myself doing something like that. Repairs in that sense, I'd sooner leave it up to warranty than my knowledge of taking apart a truck on a locomotive. I would probably do more damage than good. I did open it up and I did take a look. That much I did, but yeah, at the same time, I couldn't get the side frame of that truck back in there. So I ended up sending it back, and like I said, took less than a week, and they had it back to me, and I've been having a lot of fun running them around and doing some stuff in the yard, and that's what we do. And it's obviously really motivated me to do more stuff like this, like get a great shot of the yard and get trains going under and through. It's not just a hole in the wall anymore, guys. It's, it goes to a different world at that point. So I've been having a lot of fun with that, and I'm planning to do some more, because I've got lots of cars on the layout, so I'm always moving them around, whether it's something going on here, so I got to move them in there, or I'm doing some work in there, so I got to pull them all out here. But I don't do it by hand. I use the locomotives. So that's just how I do that. I want to go back. There we go. I don't have the sound on because then you can't hear me. But very smooth. They're very nice locomotives. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Derek. How's it going? ACH&B Railway, how's it going? And M&M Rails is back. How's it going? So we're just putting that away again, so I can continue showing you guys stuff. And we can continue talking. I do want to do some work tonight as well, but we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, because of course, Anthony is here now. I don't know if you're watching from the beginning or not, but we've been talking about keeping motivated in the hobby and all the things that, all the things that I do, all the things that you guys do in general, just to stay motivated. Because sometimes it's tough, right? It's very tough. And for I did a top 5. For myself, and then I put a questionnaire online as well, which a lot of people had responded with. One of the ones, so I can just kind of recap for those who are just joining now. Finish a kit or project you started a while ago. Anthony, does this look familiar to you? Does that look familiar at all? Because, it got a little bit nicer and I was able to do some painting finally. So I made a bit of a painting job on this kit. And I changed out the roof. I haven't glued it on yet because I want to do some stuff inside. But, I changed out the roof and I painted it finally. I do have to weather it still. And I added decals and I added a little fan over the window. But overall, I've been very happy with this. This is a little project. I actually did it while I was working. Shh, don't tell my boss. And it was really dead this week. But yeah, that's the joy of, working from home, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys something, that you can do just to kind of bring something back to life that you've been working on or that you worked on a long time ago and then you put it away. But yeah. The layout's looking great. Backdrop looks great. Thank you. Thanks, Anthony. Safety first? Yeah, that'll be pointing away. You don't want to run across all these tracks, right? So safety first. The second one on the list was starting a new project, which again was my custom bridge that we've got going on here. You can kind of see that on screen. We had just touched on that a little bit just before I pulled the locomotives out. And most of this was done by hand, except for a couple of pieces that, are from a Walthers kit. But other than that, the abutments, I had to do custom work on that. The side walls are custom. And obviously that top piece is just masonite that I had to cut to fit the section overall. So, good discussion here. For me, the motivation has really increased once I started recording YouTube. Plus it combines two hobbies, trains and videos. Sometimes I just run the trains and shoot videos. Yeah, no, that's actually one of them. Because I did my personal 5, and then there are some bonus ones, and that is definitely one of them as well, which I'll mention in a moment. Congratulations on over 3,000. Thanks. It's it sucks when you think about it, because I've been doing this for 10 years to only be at 3,000. But you know what? I think that with the 3,000 people that watch, they've been very consistent, and I've known a lot of them for a long time. Can I name them all? No. But I've made a lot of friendships. Those aren't just subscribers to me, they're friends. So yeah, this is a great hobby. So yeah. Number 3 for me was run trains, which we can all do, which is awesome when you get some track down, get a couple of switches. Again, you don't have to have a massive layout. If you have even just a switching layout, move some cars around, work towards that bigger goal. For me, I'm on hold right now because I do need some more track. But until then, I can still run some trains. I can work on these other projects, do all the little things to keep me busy. Number 4 is a big one. And I know that some of you guys can, relate, because we've often talked about this. And this is one of those things where every time I build a layout, I'm just like, you know what I would do differently if I had a new layout? Well, change something about your layout that you don't like, or something that bothers you. And I can contest to this. I've had it with every single layout that I've owned. And I did make a change. And I'm going to show you. And this here is a great example of that. when you're building a layout and you have your backdrop up and it's brown, you know, I have the brown masonite. Then you have a wood tabletop, or you have masonite on your fascia, or you have pink foam everywhere. It becomes a very dark and gloomy kind of scene, and I hate it. I hate seeing the the brown everything, brown wood, brown cork. You know, sure, there's some dirt there, but I'm mostly talking about the backdrop. And because the backdrop spans both levels and it's pretty, big, it's in your face. And one thing that I can say that I know that you guys have all seen is that before James did his backdrop, and we're talking about Dundas Junction, when you compare before his backdrop was painted blue compared to now, it's like a difference of night and day. And it's that right amount of motivation to keep going. You know, it's a huge step in a sense where there's a lot to paint. But at the same time, doing something that drastic, making a change that drastic, will improve everything. And, with the backdrop, I really struggled with it for a little bit because I wasn't sure if I should buy a backdrop picture or just paint it and then paint clouds and all that stuff. One day it hit me and I'm like, oh, I'll just do both. And that's kind of what happened here as well. Like, I can go back to the other place, but I can control this a little bit better. So in a section like this here, where there's no lighting, sorry about that, we've got the bridge, and then there's nothing that's really going to go there. It's just going to be a hill, there's going to be grass, whatever. I could have the blue sky going all the way around, and that's fine. But I had saved so much backdrop from my last layout. And this backdrop stuff is expensive. It was about, and I want to say for a set of 4 rolls, no, it's 2 rolls per order. So I had about 8 rolls that were 5 feet each, which equal about 40 feet. If my math is correct. I had about 40 feet. And I had that over 3 levels as well, right? Because I had backdrops on each level. I must have spent over $600 on backdrops. Not all at once. I would do the middle level. That would be about $200. And then do the bottom level. That was another $200. And then the top level, which I got like halfway through. But I ended up giving most of the top level backdrop to Bubs for his modules. Because they turned out like they came off the easiest. So there wasn't too much work that would have had to been done to preserve that for his modules for the train club. So he had applied those. They look great. So for the rest of the stuff, which I had just kept rolls of, I said, well, what am I going to do with this? And then I thought, well, most of it is trees. So if you guys seen my video where I was cutting out, just the blue from the top, this expands it, right? Because these backdrops here are 2 feet tall. The actual picture itself is 15 inches tall. So even if I kept the top part of these pictures, you would see a definite line where the tree and the sky is, where that ends, and then this blue top starts. So I definitely wanted to blend it in a way that looked a little bit more natural. And of course, I'm going to put trees in front of this, like actual model trees. That way it blends even more. Something like this here where I had to make a cutout because obviously there's not going to be trees right where the bridge is. That's kind of a pain, but I'm going to again blend it so it looks like there's trees in front, and hopefully the whole thing will look okay. But that also saved me, what? That's like 2 feet there, almost 3 feet. So, you know, I'll be able to continue this down. And you can see, like, I did a lot of blue. It doesn't go all the way. I think it goes to about there. Right over there. That's where it stops. So, yeah, because I had to do two layers in my other room, you know, on both the bottom and the top. And, yeah, and I only had a small can. But I'm doing this little by little, and it's keeping me motivated. And one of the big things, and I can kind of show you here, I'm going to have to go grab my other camera and move it, but that's okay. So check this out, guys. So I also got all this in place. So when we're looking at the top level, I put my 9-bay maintenance facility back, and I put all the ground down. And once I did, I added probably the shortest backdrop you could probably find. I just took more of the backdrop and I cut it right down because it's supposed to represent farther away. And trust me, it'll look better once this is all blended and whatnot, and there's cork down and all that. But yeah, I was able to do all this in an afternoon, and I'm already ready to lay track up here, and this is all ready to go. And this is the second level. So all I need for here is switches and cork and whatnot, flex track, all that fun stuff. And then I can do my whole maintenance facility. Yeah, $600. And I'm saying that loosely because it's, I think they had a deal where when you buy one roll and you pay full price. You buy another set and they take $5 off. You buy another roll or another picture and they take another $5 off. So I don't know how many rolls in total I got. And then I had even saved some from my, like, one of my other layouts. I'm not sure how long ago that was, but I was able to do a section on the bottom of my layout. Do you remember that sunset kind of area right below the paper mill? That was all backdrop that I had used from a previous layout. I really had to, like, you know, Mr. Potato Head put that thing together kind of. But yeah, it was okay, but you know, it got to hide a lot of those imperfections, right? But it worked out. And with this here, I plan on doing something similar where I use pieces of backdrop throughout, and then I'm going to blend them in the best I can. That way it's going to look like it's one continuous photo, but it really isn't. So that'll be fun. And of course, it's changing something that I hated. I hated my backdrop. Nothing looked realistic about it whatsoever. And, now it's like, that looks a lot better, right? Minus the little pink top there, but that's only because it's a wide-angle camera. When I get in there with, an actual camera to take pictures or video, trains going in and out of the engine facility there, it'll look way cooler. And I hope that it all blends well and looks great. But we'll see what happens. Hey, James, how's it going? Did I miss anybody? Yeah, okay. So changing something about your layout that you don't like or bothers you. I have one more. You see this right in front of here? These station platforms. This used to be a light blue. Kind of hated it. I'm not going to lie. The brown looks way better. It's still very shiny. Yeah, it's very shiny, so I have to dull it down and go through all that stuff. Yeah. I want to add lights and all that too. But for now, the brown looks way better as a canopy over top of this. So making those little changes, doing a lot of work, keeping motivated. The last thing on my list, so we had finish a kit or a project that you started a while ago, start a new project, run trains, change something that you don't like about your layout, and my number 5 is pull out those locos and rolling stock. Take inventory, sell what you don't want or need, and exchange them, as in with money, buy new stuff. Now, this is a thing that I've done over the past 10 years. I used to buy a lot of rolling stock and whatnot because it was new, and I would do reviews on them and whatnot just to have content. Of course, I don't do it as much anymore, but you acquire so much stuff over the years, and it builds up and you don't end up using a lot of it. And then when something comes out that you really want, something that you really, really want, but it's like, it's kind of pricey, well, you can cut that price right in half if you get rid of the things that you don't really need, don't really want. Things that you no longer, like, you're like, oh wow, that's cool. You buy it and you're like, is it that cool? I don't know. So exchange things that you don't really use, for something that you're going to love. And, with that, buying something new, just like with the kits, building a new kit, getting a new locomotive, it's very exciting. And, building up your roster, building, a unit train, doing those things that make you happy. We could all use a little bit of that. And, it's motivating. It motivates you to run those trains, get them out of their packages, So that's my top 5. And those are things that I practice all the time. And that's why it never really gets boring for me, because there's always something to do. There's always something on the go. And, there's always trains coming and going, as they say. So James is selling some excess stuff as well, which is good. Sell train. Mark thinks I said a swear. Yeah, I've sold trains over the years and rolling stock that I've no longer needed, or I've changed my mind. There's one of those things where you have, I'll buy a 6-pack of cars. I really only need 2. So you sell the 4. It happens. There's always a new Helix to build. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Yeah, and you know what? Because I've moved so many times, the plan has changed so many times. I went from modeling North Bay to now modeling the GTA. And even though you'll see some trains go from North Bay down to the Toronto area, or they make their way from the Toronto area up to North Bay, there's still 2 very separate areas. So with this here, I want to stick to that specific area. The only reason why I have my O&R stuff is because I go to the club. I do run those trains, those unit trains at the club and whatnot, and I can take those with me. And, because I've wanted an ore train for a while. They're great. And the whole thing looks cool together. So it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Weed through the things that you don't want, So I switch back and forth between trains and electronics as hobbies for motivation. Now I'm immersed in Arduino stuff, but that will also play into trains later. It's a win-win. Acquiring a new skill. Absolutely. So I want to give you some of the runner-ups, because the runner-ups are, I had my top 5, but the runner-ups are pretty good too. And that's the only reason why I still want to share them with you. So Dwight had mentioned watching videos of your friends doing lives just like this. I've gotten quite a few comments from friends and viewers that say, watching you and watching what you do and, watching you build things, whether it's a kit on like a Saturday night or just laying some track, it's really motivating. And I'm really, really pumped to go and do this now. And I think that's awesome. And it's not just that. Like, I'll watch other guys doing their, layout builds and whatnot. And it's very motivating for me. And it's a really good one. And Dwight had mentioned that in the comment section. So shout out to Dwight at Curly Express on YouTube. One of the other ones, which I had mentioned, which wasn't so popular with you guys, but I do find that when you go rail fanning, it does allow you to, see things running in real time. A lot of people will say, well, I saw this locomotive in real life, so now I either want to make my own or I want to go buy my own if a manufacturer does make it, just because they want to recreate the train that they saw. Or they go out and they look at potential areas that they're modeling or they're building a layout or a module after, just to see what runs through there so that they can get a better idea of what they should buy or, how the whole scene looks based off the time of year. Of course, you go do that. And that kind of plays into GRE 2057, that's Greg, R&D, which is research and development. Basically, he likes to go onto Google and he will Google Earth things like areas and whatnot for potential landscapes and, how does this area look. We had gone over that about a month ago when I talked about building my CN tower there, not CN tower, but the yard tower, and how I went onto Google Earth and I could get the exact measurements of the building. And that was motivation too for building a replica of a real life building. So that was a really good suggestion as well. Now, if you're anything like me, you start a project and you make a mess. Then you start another project and you make another mess. And then so on and so forth. Well, cleaning and organizing the layout, that is a very good way to motivate you. When you see a landscape of, I wish I could show this. Oh, I can, because we're live and we have that option. Jeez. Okay. Only I stretch that way. Ugh. Look at this. Look at, this isn't even, bad at, Chris's standards, right? Like, this is normal. We got some cars, we got some tools, we got some buildings and backdrops, stuff that are, all over the place. Totally fine. Totally fine. This is like my, Monday to Friday right here. But it's very cluttered. And let's be honest, you can't do too much. Can't run trains when it looks like this, right? That's not very motivating, is it? So cleaning up your area, cleaning up the layout, organizing it will help to be able to, organize a little bit better, and it'll motivate you to keep working on the layout. And of course, one of my favorite things, it's a wonder that this was not, it's a wonder it wasn't my number one, because I love to do this. And I don't get out that much because I work from home, and it feels like I'm always working. It feels like, always. Like I just finished working about an hour and a half ago, I'm off for the next 3 days, but I've been working for the last 6. So any chance I get where I can online shop or go into a store and shop, I definitely will. It's fun. I like to shop. What can I say? Browsing the inventory of your local train establishment, or of course your favorite website, OVRtrains.com, or even some of the manufacturers like Rapido or Aurora. You go onto their website and you check the schedule, like when is the next thing that's going to be delivered, and then you make a list of all these things that you need or you want, in preparation. When is it going to be here? It says it's going to be here next month, so I'm sure in 3 months it'll be here. So, yeah, it's fun. And, getting all excited, you're like, oh my gosh, that turbo train's going to be here real soon. So I better lay some track and make a section for it. James is doing that right now. He has a couple of turbo trains and he's making a section just for the turbo trains. And that's so motivating because now you're adding to the layout. You're adding, its own personal parking spot. And you'll be able to take those out and run them freely and then park them back in their parking space when you're not gonna, use them. So it's fun. And it's not gonna be stuck in a box forever. Some of my stuff is still in the boxes, not the box it came in, but more or less just my storage totes for when I go to the club, because I don't want a lot of it to get damaged. Let's be realistic. That's expensive stuff, and don't want it to get damaged. And because I do, work around here with hammers, swinging hammers around and stuff, I don't want things to get damaged or broken. So I try to pull out as much as I can. Most of my locomotives are in the display cases, which are great because I can go and I can grab them and throw them on the track and away you go. So, got another one for you guys. This was another runner-up, of course. Visit a local club or show. Now, for where I'm located, there's not a lot of shows, but I do have a train club, that I can go to when I'm not working. It seems like I'm always working, so I kind of miss those setups, but that's okay. I got this here. But for you guys, you go to a local train show and, they normally have layout set up. Maybe you're yet to build a layout, but you're looking for inspiration, of course. And, you talk with the local club members, how do I do this? How do I do that? They're full of knowledge. And in most cases, a lot of these places are willing to help you out and, put you on the right track. Pun intended, of course. See what I did there? But yeah, a lot of these groups and forums are filled with 50 people that'll give you 50 different answers. And, it's always good to ask these questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I mean, I've heard some pretty stupid questions, but there's no such thing as a stupid question. So always ask those questions because you'll either, make someone's day or they will help you through something, But yeah, I think that it's very helpful and it'll motivate you and it'll keep you going. And one of the last things, and someone had mentioned it in the chat earlier, and also KNW Railroader mentioned it as well in the in the survey thing there. Start a YouTube channel, or in this case, watch more lives and whatnot, and share what you're doing. That's what we're doing right now. We're sharing, and get a discussion going. I find that when I'm working on something and I'm doing it live, and you guys are watching, you guys are very very responsive. You guys tell me, if it looks bad, if it looks good. You give me suggestions, and there's honestly a lot of you guys just, you lift me up, and it's great because honestly, sometimes I'm not too sure. You know, there's certain things that like I can do it, but I'm not, 100%. Like, is this gonna turn out okay? Or, but when I'm working on something, and you guys are like, that looks awesome, it's really motivating, and it helps me a lot, and I appreciate it. I really do. We're always going to be our worst critics, for sure. And I'm guilty of it. And I know a bunch of other people are. I don't take positive criticism well, because when I look at my work, because I'm my own worst critic, someone will say that looks amazing, and I'm like, does it though? do you want to see it again? Because I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see where that amazing is. And even somebody had commented on a video earlier and said, if I keep this kind of work up, if I keep working the way I'm working and building structures and whatnot, that one day I'll be in a magazine. And I'm like, I mean, that would be cool, but I have so much work to do because there's so much talent out there. And I understand why a lot of these guys are in the magazines, and, it's, that I call it the big leagues, but, would that be cool? Absolutely. Do I think I'm anywhere near there? Probably not. So it gives you something to work towards, and it gives you that level of motivation to work harder and to do more and to try new things. Try the things that you're scared of. Try the things that you never thought you could do, and then you find out, oh wow, it wasn't that hard. Look at the Helix. I'm building it for a second time. It did not fail me at all the first time. I just need more track, and then I can finish it. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And, a lot of this is just, it's fun. And to me, it's, I get a kick out of it. I get a kick out of watching all you guys do your layouts and do your videos and whatnot. And everybody has their own, everybody brings their own unique touch to it. And I think it's awesome. And then we all come together and share this amazing hobby together. Your layout sucks, Chris. Thanks, Mark. That's the realest thing, Oh, man. If I had no idea who you were, I would have kicked you. But, yeah, so just checking through comments here. Skipping Mark's mostly. What do you guys think? What did you guys did I miss anything? Even with these extras, of keeping motivated. Do you guys do any of these? Do you guys feel like you could do some of these? T-bone is a lot of work, and cleaning the bandsaw sucks. I miss Weber's. My wife and I used to go there. I thought we had a new catchy nickname for you. Yeah, wiring. So when I was in the middle of working on everything here before I started the bridge, I decided to rewire everything. And I had rewired everything in that room. Basically, I wanted to clean it up. I wanted to make everything look a lot better. And I'll show you, these are the little boards I make for areas like this for my yard. So we've got our positive. Oh, no. Positive. There we go. Because red's my favorite color. And then my negatives are over here as the white wires. And they all jump because I don't have terminal joiners. I just have terminal strips. So these are my terminal joiners where I just loop it all. And I make one big board like this. And I have them underneath the sections, all throughout. And I'll do custom ones as well where, if I only have 2 tracks or 3 tracks, it'll be a heck of a lot smaller than this. and I drop all my wires in sections, which I can kind of show you. Right here, you see all this? Oh, you can't even see that probably. All these little spaghetti snake head things sticking up through here. That's the next section that I'm going to be creating, or I guess. Oh yeah, okay, I can see it now. Yeah, where I'm going to drop all these feeders, I'm going to solder all of them, and then I'm going to connect them all to a board underneath. And then I'm doing this, every so often, at least 3 or 4 feet between each other. And then what happens is that if this is under the layout, I connect all my red ones here, all my white ones here, which is obvious. Then this red one and this white one will go over to the left, over to here, like whichever one I have on this side. And then this one and this one will go to the next one that I'll put down the way. And that basically is my, what would you call it? My bus line, where people just run the wire, and then, yeah, they just tap into the bus line every so often. This here it puts it all at one point, and then you connect from one to the other, and yeah, it runs through everything. And it works great for what I've, because that's how I've done it for a while. And I know I've had people ask me, well, how do you wire your layout? That's basically it. You can see straight lines of solder, 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 and you go down, solder, in this kind of zigzag, depending on where my switches are, because that's a little bit more of a complicated area over there where all the switches kind of branch off. But I basically have one on, I've dropped feeders at every end of every switch. So, before the actual switch and then after the two. If there's a space, if it goes switch, it's right in between, just to make sure that the train will not stop at any point on that switch. Hey Russ, how's it going? Okay. Denny says, motivation. Keep a list of small wins and attack that list. Roger Coleman says, Chris, it's insane how quickly you work. I get that often. And I don't know if it's because I work from home, so I'm able to chip away at things, quite frequently. For example, I'll go on my break and then I already have stuff prepared. So I'll grab these 2 roof parts, grab some cardboard and the paint that I need for it, take it out to the garage, spray it. I come back in 2 hours on my lunch break, flip them, spray the bottom side. And then they're drying. They're drying while I'm working. Same thing with other things. Like, I'll be working and I had to remove. So this piece here, like this was attached to another bridge. Like this was part of a bridge. And because I had done plastic to plastic, I basically had to take an X-Acto knife and cut along this way or even this way just to separate this whole railing piece from the bridge plastic, because I wanted to keep this for this specific bridge. It fits perfectly and it fits the theme, so I wanted that to be there. So I removed it from the other bridge and now it's found its new home. I just have to clean up the bottom. But I did that all while I was working. I do lots of little things here and there. Like I said, when I was working on this building here, so I did a lot of this on Mother's Day, which was last Sunday, and I took a total of 1 call that day, and it was basically just to redirect the gentleman to a different department. Other than that, if it wasn't for this building, I would have sat there all day and never done anything because it was dead. It was so dead. It was deader than Christmas Day. So it was important that I had something to, work on. And I was able to do a lot of this that day. Acrylic paint dries really quick. So, the black was already done because I had already sprayed it. And then I did all the white corners, like you can see the white edging. I tape a lot of that off as well first. The windows were in their little sprues, so I painted them. And then while they're drying, I do something else. And I'm able to do this it took me the 8 hours to do something like that. An entire shift. But, not everybody is so lucky to be able to work from home and have, access to be able to do that while you're working or, something like that. So that's probably why it seems like I work fast, because I do have a lot of time where I can, chip away at things like that. You've inspired me this evening. Well, thank you, Model Train Reviews. And this is one of the things, right? When we talk about it and we, share things, right? Like when we're doing lives and we upload videos. We're doing demos. We do reviews. We, talk about train shows and whatnot. We go rail fanning. We're sharing things all the time. And being able to see a lot of you guys that don't get as much snow as us up here in Canada, when you guys go rail fanning and you're posting videos of rail fanning, I'm just like, I cannot wait to go rail fanning. And it's very like, I'm so excited. I gotta go. I want to go. And it makes me want to go do that stuff. I want to go catch train number whatever, or via 36 or something, going, whatever. I'm still trying to catch Lumi. I can't catch Lumi. I've always missed Lumi, but I'm motivated, and I hope to one day catch Lumi out in the wild. That's the bright yellow Charger set from Via. But yeah, hopefully one day I do that. But it's all, it's all motivating. Chris is the only guy I know who doesn't take breaks from the hobby. He's a machine. And a lot of people, they get, like, I know it's probably a conversation for another day, but, when you hit a brick wall, and you hit that brick wall pretty hard, I've seen people walk away from the hobby. I've seen people, quit their channels. I've seen, a lot of different versions of that, especially over the last 10 years. I try to be fairly consistent. I know that I don't always upload, and I know I don't always have something new to show. Sometimes it's kind of tough to find those interesting things to talk about, or, models to share. Like, I have a very niche set of, locomotives and, rail cars that I buy for myself personally. Especially if I'm running a lot of Via or Go stuff. And then there's a lot of, let's say, overseas guys or even Americans who don't really care much for Go stuff or Via stuff, because it's corridor, basically. It's local to me. Well, not the Go, but still what I grew up with, right? But, I do tend to try to run some other stuff, like the CN stuff, which you'll see right across North America. It's, there's a little bit of everything, but if it's not my trains, I always have somebody coming over. Like, Bubs brings all his CP stuff over. I tell him to stop it with the CP stuff. No, it's okay. It's allowed here. But, and then Perry, one time he brought over his military train, which I thought was insane. It was so cool, because all his flat cars has tanks and whatnot that he's painted and detailed, the chain work and everything. Super talented. And he usually has like a UP locomotive or an NS locomotive pulling that. So, it's all welcome here. You get like a sprinkling of that stuff, but I mostly just run, what I love and what I grew up with. So, it is what it is. But next step is ketchup chips mixed with dill pickle chips. Give you prune face and a red tongue. I'm glad you just went out for a burger. Bearzilla, how's it going, Bearzilla? Ronald says rain week and train days. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Bubs and I planned to go rail fanning this Saturday. Guess when it's raining? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Rain. When I'm planning to be outside for the first time in like forever. So we'll see what happens, but I hope it doesn't rain. Let's see. Yes, it's kind of my motto in the summer, or it's just too hot out to work on my boat. I have to come see you someday. I don't know who you're going to see, Todd. Rainer, I live in a condo. Where is Trackside Mike? I don't know. He's missing out. I think he's working. He's another guy he's a workaholic, that guy. I think that's, with the rail fanning, it's tough. But I did get a canopy, which I find to be very useful. I got that last year just before the group barbecue, because we always do that at the end of at the end of August or early September, just before the kids go back to school and whatnot. Usually during the long weekend. Which reminds me, I can do this now. Bam. All right. Well, you guys know Sparky. He's doing a Canadian meet and greet this year, which is August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. He's got a number of videos, and also a lot of people have shared his video, so hopefully you guys have seen it. If you are planning on going, make sure you reach out to Sparky, because there's a couple of different options as far as things that he has planned, including dinner on a dining car, shop tour, I think OSR on Friday with a visit to Otter Valley, and then the dinner and another shop tour on the Saturday, and then Mini Prince and Little Canada on Sunday. Make sure you go check out the video and whatnot so that you are not left behind. That was a mouthful. Wow. Okay. So, I hope to go. I gotta check my schedule though. I tried to get the Friday off today, and that failed miserably. Even with my seniority, I still couldn't get a day off. I know I'm supposed to be off on the Saturday and Sunday, and then the Monday and the Tuesday and the Wednesday and the Thursday. I'll have a whole week off. But I don't know what's going to happen with the Friday. And that's usually where everyone meets and goes to, OSR and the Otter. I call it the Otter. It's Otter Valley. But so we'll see what happens. Is anybody in the chat here planning on going? I'm just interested. Because can't wait to see you guys. Of course, I want to come down to that and hang out. Again, I have no idea what's going on. The barbecue for me is kind of up in the air, because Bubs won't be around, and he's usually the barbecue guy. He always brings the cue. So, not sure what's going to happen as far as with the barbecue this year. Might just do a little trackside thing. I don't know, order a pizza. It's not really going to be a big deal like it was last year. Just even though, because I think James is having a surgery, so he won't be able to make it. So it's already that's two people down, and I'm like, oh. So, and they're all important people, but I yeah, I don't want to do anything too big if, you know, these guys can't be there, and it's a lot all in one week going to Sparky's thing and then me doing my thing. So I'm okay not doing a huge thing. If you're around, then cool. If not, then it's whatever. We'll just be trackside in Smiths Falls, looking at trains. That's it. It's on the long weekend. So, yeah. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I don't. Oh, the camera's not there. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this so that you can see it. Okay, yeah, that kind of looks okay. I mean, it's not where I really want it to be, but what looks better? I guess that does. You'll notice that I have fascia on, and it's black. The wife did that, so that was cool. That was nice of her. And I filled in plaster along here, and it's all brown now. So now I've got an abundance of black and brown with the blue background, and a lot of work's going into this area. I think I've done a lot here, you know, in the past month or so, especially with the background. Like, I love, you know, the background and how that looks and whatnot. And oh, yeah, I did some of this too. So you can see I was able to add extra concrete right along the edge here. So there's a bit of a walkway, and I painted it. I still have to weather it to kind of match that and over here. But yeah, so as soon as I weather that, I'm almost ready for ballast and whatnot in this area, which is pretty cool. I still have to do all the wiring for the buildings because there's a lot of light in, you know, with all the buildings here. So as soon as I drop the wires, this will all be mostly permanent. And then I've got a bit of work to do with that, and then a lot of roof details and stuff that I would like to add. But I've been going pretty ham in here, you know, just working on things. And of course, my wife helped me out by painting that, which I think she did a really good job. Mrs. Caboose Govia, I don't know what you want to call her, but yeah. Between there and up here, I've been having such a blast. If I do this, then it looks better. There we go. That way you don't see the pink ceiling. Look what the cat dragged in. It's Mike. Mike, you finally made it. Oh, he's been lurking on the way home. Be safe. Be safe. Oh, the big 14, eh? That's gross. The background is like, it's nice, but it'll look better once there's, you know, buildings and whatnot and trees in front of it. I like having a backdrop, like a picture, or, you know, a lot of people will do like the mountainous background and stuff. But what really pulls it together is that when you put trees and buildings in front of it, it just makes it look way nicer and it blends it. So you're not really looking at the backdrop. It just exists. Everything else around it is what's important, right? Even when I did my old layout and there was this nice sweeping curve, right? And then the backdrop was nice. There was a bit of the blue sky, some greenery. And then I put some tall trees in front of it. And it darkens, you know, near the bottom, so it's not as bright blue. And then you get a lot of the different colors from the leaves. And when you get a train coming around that corner, and it almost looks like the trees are hanging over top of the locomotive and the rolling stock. It looks so good, and it blends so well. So, yeah, that's what I want to like get to, but I haven't. I'm not there yet. So I'm still chipping away. I'm not calling her Mrs. Caboose. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing out names. I was gonna. That should be your new channel name, Mrs. Caboose. Oh, come on, Mark. You just once you were going to ask if he's bringing his caboose when he comes over. That's funny. Mark, you're always good for a laugh. I don't know, Mrs. Caboose is a lot better than Mrs. GBO. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Almost had to the basement to the wind at 6 miles per hour. Watch 3 limbs falling apart, blew off the barn. Yikes. Well, that's no good. All right. Well, I'm glad that I was able to, kind of pull all this together just to kind of show you guys that it's not just, let's lay some track and run a train. There's so much more to it. I hope that you found this motivating in one way or another. Again, I think it was like number 6 or number 7 on the list. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys showing up and chatting about this. I find it motivating to, talk with all of you. And, you guys have been a beacon and, a ray of sunshine, especially Mark. Or should I say Mrs. Caboose? But, it's fun. I love doing this. And I've been doing it for the last 10 years. And I'm going to do it for another 10 years. And another 10 years. And I'm going to keep putting videos up until you guys say, cut it out, man. Keep doing the live thing, too. Yeah, that's the funny thing with lives. I find that before COVID, or whatever you want to call it, the showstopper, there wasn't as many lives, and a lot of people would just do the regular uploads, and then once that happened, doing lives and whatnot and group chats became more of a staple, where we couldn't really get together in person, but we could all get together like this and chat and have live conversations. But now it's like it's kind of reverting back, where our lives not R as in ours, but R as in ARE, lives still something that everybody enjoys. I have no idea. Do people watch lives frequently? Do you watch lives more? Are you excited that someone's going live versus just an upload? It's hard to say. I enjoy doing them as long as people are watching. So, it doesn't really affect me. Never stop. Fine, Russ. Because you asked nicely, I'll keep going. Another 10 years, you'll be your 14th layout. Oh, I hope not. I've often, I told my wife, and I said this, I had a conversation with her. I said, I'm almost getting tired of building a layout, moving, building a layout, moving, and then, it sucks. It sucks because even with the last layout, I got so far. Sure, 3 levels. I mean, Chris, you're kind of reaching. You only rent. But, I have goals every time I make a layout, and it's I try to obtain these goals within a certain amount of time, and you know, if I run out of time, I run out of time. I think that if I was there for another year, maybe two, I probably would have had a lot more done. And I would have had like a good portion of the top level done as well. And I think that's why I wanted to only do two levels this time around, so that I can get farther on the two levels in, you know, a shorter amount of time as opposed to three levels in, you know, much longer amounts of time. Modules are okay too. Like, you know, now that I'm part of the club, I have a set of modules that I need to work on, and also because I'm part of the club, they also want me to work on some of the empty modules that they have. They already have track on and everything. I just have to do the scenery for them. So I think that might be a summer project as well. Stay tuned for that, because you guys will get to see that. I hope I have enough room here, because it's a set of three modules. It's a giant Y, a double track Y. I won't be running trains on it. I'll just be doing all the scenery on it, basically building it up. So, which is my bread and butter. I love doing that stuff. I could do that all day long, which I kind of do. But either way. And that'll probably start during the summertime. So give it a month. Never stop. Keep the trains running. That's right. Keep the trains running. Modules. I started my first layout spring 2020. It was my second. Okay, here's the other thing. So as far as videos, live videos. Now, of course, I did mention Mark is next Thursday. You guys know, especially those of you who have been watching for the last couple of years, I have two kids. They join soccer every year. Guess when soccer starts? Monday. I had this conversation with Mark, and I think James as well earlier. So they start, and when the kids start soccer, it's normally Monday night is a game, Tuesday night is a game for the other child, and then they reverse, so it's a practice night and then practice night for another child. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm swamped, because what happens is that I finish work at 6 o'clock, and then they got to be at their game or practice by 7. And it's normally 7 to 8. Now, it's never normally too far from the house, so I can be home by 8:30-ish, more or less. So if it's my night to do a live, and it's not like this where I'm starting at 7:30, 8 o'clock, stick around, because I will show up unless I've mentioned otherwise, like can't do it for whatever reason. But I would probably be doing my lives at 8:30, where the other guys, they do their lives at 8 o'clock. Unless Mark joins Little League. I don't know. He'll be the tallest guy on the team probably, but I think he enjoys like Pee-wee baseball. What is it? T-ball? Where the ball's on the stick and then you... Right? I think he likes T-ball. But we'll see what happens there. It seems like since the first of the year, everybody is doing lives. Chris, you are one of my favorites. Thanks, Russ. That means a lot. That was motivating, right? That makes me want to do another live like right now. Although it is 9 o'clock and I got to go make sure that Gons and Hopper are in bed, and because they got school tomorrow. And yeah, I gotta go make sure that they're getting to bed soon and they brush their teeth and whatnot. So you guys have entertained me for the night, and I am spent. T-bone, not T-ball. I don't know what... Oh, T-bone. Oh, okay. He's it's weird that his sponsor is Montana's, but whatever. um, no, the wife didn't call me. I gotta make sure. Equal responsibilities. All right. The Gons. Hey, you guys missed the Gons. As soon as I have something that the Gons can do, then I'll have him back doing it live. YouTube is very weird about that stuff, and I've expressed it to him. Like, my kids are okay; they're very responsible for the most part, and they do play a lot of video games. They want to do the I have a YouTube channel thing, but even being on my live, because my oldest, he's not 13. YouTube has very weird rules about that, where child labor or something. I don't know. I don't really read it. They're just like, you can't monetize your channel or something if you have children featured in the video, even though I'm sure the Gons thinks he's the feature of the show. He doesn't really show his face or anything. But I don't know. It's something that I know he wants to be a part of more, and I know he does help me out a lot around here, and you guys don't see it, but he does help. But we'll have him back, and possibly Hopper. Hopper's a little bit more of a wild card, and no, that's not their actual names. For those of you who think I named my children after rolling stock, Caboose, wife, the Gons, my youngest, and no, the Gons is my oldest, and Hopper is my youngest. He's come such a long way. Yeah, right? Oh, me and my wiring. Oh, Dave, wait till you see my reverse loop. You'll be like, that's my boy. Because, I learned all that stuff from you. Mind you, you wanted me to do something crazy difficult. I wanted simple. But I still took your word for it. But yeah, so I'm going to call it a night. And I wanted to just leave you with this. Whatever it is that motivates you, keep doing it and keep going. Never give up, because, trains. Yep. I don't know. I didn't have any special fortune cookie for you there with that. It was just, do your thing. Whatever makes you happy, as far as, running trains, doing some scenery, doing some backdrop, weathering a train, weathering a rail car, building a kit, making a video, doing a live. Whatever your thing is, keep doing it, because people appreciate it. People are motivated by it. And, not only are people motivating you to keep doing that stuff and to keep doing what you're doing, but you might just be motivating somebody else. And I think that that's awesome, because sometimes we all just need a little bit of motivation once in a while. I'm Go Veer, Go Home. Come back next week. We've got James and Mike on Monday night for Off the Rails Monday. And believe me, they go off the rails. That's at 7 o'clock. And then we've got M&M Rails next Thursday for Third Rail Thursday. Trying to follow up this show. I know. I thought it was tough following up for Denny. Mark, you have your hands full. Clean that layout.